Greetings. This is Doc Ock coming to you live and direct from Black Facts Headquarters Central here in Kent, Ohio on another lovely evening. Good evening to everyone out there. Hope everybody's doing real good and had a really good day. We certainly did have a busy day, that's for sure, and we will be continuing to have busy days as the weather gets nicer and nicer. It's just like adding spice to our beans and our rice. Mighty, mighty nice. Meanwhile, let's get it on. You know what we're here to do tonight. And number one is to make sure that you are giving us your undivided support by, number one, giving us a like if you're watching on Facebook, giving us a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube, and first and foremost, going ahead and spreading the word hither and yon, far and wide, all throughout the land about Black Facts and what we do here to make sure that our stories continue to be told. Not by someone else that doesn't know the story from the inside out, but we want to leave no doubt as to the fact that we were here and just what we did from whose perspective? Our perspective. So we're coming to bringing you the biased news. Absolutely, because we're going to bring it from our perspective. Yep, that's the only way we can do it. All other news is biased too, by the way. They try to say they're unbiased. That's not true. All right, so for tonight, proverb for tonight is, one does not slaughter a calf before its mother's eyes. One does not slaughter a calf before its mother's eyes. So that might be a good thing to keep in mind. Don't slaughter your calf while the mama's looking. All right? Yeah, that might be a good idea if you don't, especially if you don't want to get gored by a mad cow. That could be painful. And that was a proverb from Kenya, Kenyan proverb. So tonight, you know what we're going to do. We're going to continue telling the story of the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense as told in this particular graphic novel. First of its kind. Need I remind you, this is a brand new book. It just came out this year. And we're bringing you a good portion of the book. Matter of fact, we're not going to read too much longer from this book because we're just about at the middle of it. And we're probably going to read till about the middle and then go ahead and switch gears and go ahead and read from another book to finish out the month. Because we have been saying this from the very beginning. We do not want to infringe on the copyright of the copyright holders of the book. We only want to give people a taste of what's in the book. So we don't want to tell you the whole story, but we want to give you enough of the story to pique your interest, to get you to go out and get a copy for yourself. Because when you see the imagery that we are presenting to you here, decidedly it's somewhat fuzzy. Okay? They're not the best images. They're not high res, etc., etc., etc. We know that already. You don't got to tell us that. And you can only see them if you're watching this on YouTube, by the way. For those of you who are still watching this on Facebook, switch to the tube if you want to get the full Molly. That's where you need to be, on YouTube. So go ahead and do that. And meanwhile, we're getting all of our eggs in the right baskets over here, tisket a tasket. We getting ready to put something in the basket right here, right now. All right, now we're hitting on all cylinders. So let's go ahead and see what do we have to present to you tonight. Let's see if we can get this to play. We left off last night, and the news from our perspective was presented via the Black Panther Party newspaper. And this is what was a major platform that the Panthers created in order to really get the news out there from our perspective, as opposed to having to depend on who? You know who. The fake news. Right. So one thing T Rump and I agree on is that there is such a thing as fake news. We used to call it propaganda back in the day. We just may not agree on what news is real and what news is fake. Now that part we probably have a disagreement on. But the fact that these reporters do not always give us, definitely don't give us the story from our perspective, that part is a fact. Okay, indubitably. So the picture you're looking at here right now, this is this page here has a drawing of Emory Douglas on it, and he was a major force behind the newspaper. So introducing our newest character, our latest character in this story, Emory Douglas was among the earliest members to join the Black Panthers in 1967. He was already associated with the Ram-affiliated Black Panther Party of Northern California. He first met Huey Newton and Bobby Seale when the Oakland-based Panthers worked with the San Francisco-based group to provide security for Betty Shabazz. Leaving one Black Panther party for another, Douglas began using his artistic skills while working on the newly formed Black Panther newspaper. Every week, his stylish and distinctive illustrations appeared in the Black Panther, defining, is a key word, defining the visual identity of both the newspaper and the party. So this is the whole idea that the pen is mightier than the sword. And in this case, the pen, yeah, it was the pen. Because most of his stuff was done in black and white. He didn't really work in color so much like these brothers are doing. If the Black Panther was the most important way the Panthers communicated with the world and among chapters, then the art of Emory Douglas was an invaluable tool in how the newspaper captured the imagination of the public and conveyed the ideas expressed within its pages. Less than a month after the first edition was published, the Black Panther evolved from a newsletter to a weekly newspaper, and it became a cornerstone of the organization as it began to grow in an area before the internet. The newspaper allowed different chapters to communicate what was happening in their part of the country. So you see those three faces there at the top? Yeah, that's typical Emory Douglas stylings. But like I said, for the most part, he worked in black and white, not so much in color, because color wasn't used then like it is now. And then you see some various covers. There's one there for Free Angela. There's another one with Huey Newton on the cover. The issue is the political prisoners of America, and people as one to stand for the release of all political prisoners. Huey Newton, Minister of Defense. So the paper was published from 1967 to 1980 for a total of 537 issues, with circulation reaching 300,000 people, or 300,000. The Black Panther was not only one of the most important endeavors of the party, it was also its most enduring. The paper was printed on Wednesdays, picked up on Thursdays, shipped to various chapters and branches all over the country on Fridays. From there, it was sold in stores and on street corners, often by young people. The newspaper became a primary source of income for both the party and its members. Proceeds were split between the national office, the local chapter, and whoever sold the paper. Part of the revenue was used to cover the expense of maintaining Panther pads, which were communal living spaces that housed party members. For many members of the party, selling the paper was their main source of income. So you can see they were coming up with revolutionary ideas in terms of how to house, feed, clothe themselves, earn a living, and promote the idea that America was supposedly founded on of equal justice under the law, because that was their main issue: equal justice under the law. Okay, now this next part, oh man, it's hard for me to stop reading from this book because the book has so much interesting stuff in it. Yeah. All right. Well, you know what I'll do? I'll push the button, and we'll go. I'll let you see the next page. The next page is called the next section is called the Sacramento Incident, and I'm gonna close the book here. Okay, and we're gonna start reading something else. I might read one more time from this one, but for tonight we're gonna end it right there at the Sacramento Incident. And I lived in Sacramento. The first time I lived in I visited Sacramento that I recall as an adult. The first time I visited Sacramento, I thought the place was such a Squaresville that I literally got out of town, and on my way out of town, my primary thought was that would be the last place I'd ever live on the planet Earth, because it was just that the town felt like it was just that square. Because when I got there, it was about 5 o'clock, and the whole town was shut down on a weekday or weeknight. And I was like, dang, what kind of town is this? Everything shuts down at 5 o'clock. Because LA, everything's open, for years. Everything's been open all the time. It used to be in other parts of the country, like Ohio, Sundays, you couldn't do anything. Other days, you might find some places open a little bit later. But on Sundays, everything just closed up. And so the idea of closing up that early on a weekday, just to me, felt really wrong. But the incident that happened in Sacramento, that really put the Black Panthers on the map nationally. That was a big incident. It was definitely a big deal. And so we'll come back to that tomorrow night. I'm going to at least go that far with this book, and then we'll see what other books we want to bring in, where we want to go from there. But we are continuing with our celebration of Malcolm X's 96th birth year. Okay, so this is or birth month. This is the 96th anniversary of Malcolm X's birth. This month of May 19 is his birthday. So we just passed his birthday a few days ago. And in order to continue telling these kinds of stories that are not being told anywhere by anybody, for the most part, we need your support. Here's what we need. Number one, give us a like if you're watching us on Facebook. Number two, give us a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. And number three, go ahead and become a sustaining member by making a recurring donation, $5 or more per month for 12 months. Easy to do. If you have to, you can make a one-time donation, but that keeps us in a constant need to do fundraising. And we would like to do less fundraising and more storytelling. So that's the benefit of doing the recurring donation. Just take your donation and break it up into smaller chunks. But they can't be less than $5 per chunk. Okay? Because $5 is the least you can donate, the smallest donation. All right. In the meanwhile, we're going to go ahead and put all you little children to bed. So all you little children, lay your little head on your little pillow, on your little bed, close those your eyes and wait for that sun to rise. When you feel those sunbeams beaming down on your eyes, that's when you know it's time to rise and shine, oh children of mine. And in the meantime, We want you to sleep right, sleep tight, and don't let those bed bugs bite. But if they do, hit them with a shoe till they turn black and blue. Peace out, y'all. With justice. Peace with justice, because anything less than that disgusts us.